From Rob Palmer, he says, can you ask Darren Barker if he would be ready to fight Macklin on Frank Warren's rumoured December 11th card? Well, we're going to in a second, because guess what? Perhaps the biggest disappointment about Saturday's long night of championship boxing was the withdrawal of Barnett's Darren Barker. He was due to fight local idol Matt Macklin, as you heard. Macklin will now fight for the vacant middleweight title against an unpronounceable geezer from Georgia. Darren is recovering from the hip injury, and I'm delighted to say that he joins me now. Darren, how are you?
Not bad, Steve. Yourself, mate?
Yeah, fantastic. That text there says, would you be available to fight on December the 11th? Are you ready by then?
Oh, well, I'd like to think I am, definitely, mate. I mean, obviously, utterly disappointed that I'm not fighting on the 18th. I mean,
of course.
It was, you know, a career-defining fight from one that...
Certainly was.
You know, sort of put any question marks to bed whether if I'm world-class or not, which I honestly believe I am, but... You know, it was one of them fights with anyone who was questioning it. It really would have put to bed, and it's one of them where I'm devastated to be part of such a big bill and a big, massive domestic fight. You know, I'm gutted, mate. It
really captured the imagination. I mean, there's plenty of good fights on the bill. You know, there's plenty of even 50-50 matches on the bill, but that was the one fight that really grabbed the imagination. Now, Darren, there was endless speculation. I know I spoke to Tony Sims, your trainer and manager, a long time back, and he was angry at some of the things that had been said on this show, and he said, Steve, I want to come on and let everyone know that Darren's going to fight. There was all sorts of online rumours and even some rumours in papers. Tell us exactly when this hip did start to hurt, and when was that moment you realised you couldn't carry on training on it?
Well, what happened was, basically, after I won the European, I had a minor hip operation. It was tiny, and I was told I was able to fight. I followed all what the doctor said and everything, and basically all I had was a hip sort of, he was just playing up, and I was having niggles whilst I was training, and I had a little niggle.
Yeah.
It would have been probably a week before I pulled out. I had a few days off, which would have been fine, because I'd trained like an absolute lunatic, honestly, and I was in absolute superb condition. Did a bit of sparring with Dan Cadman, and it just went again, and to be honest, it just wasn't worth fighting. You know, there's no way I was going to be 100%, and that's what this fight deserved, was me being in there 100%, not only for a number of reasons. Jeremy, for Matt Macklin, he deserved 100% Darren Barker. Darren Barker deserved 100% of myself, and, you know, so did my fans, and, you know, there's no point me going in there, you know, 60-70% and getting beaten, you know, and the other problem was, even if I was able to get through the training, get there, you know, the worry was it going again in the actual fight night, and that's the last thing I wanted, and, you know, I just prayed that one day this fight happened, because, you know, the whole show itself was a dream come true for myself, and like I say, it was a career-defining fight, and one I'm really gutted I'm missing out on.
No, when it happens or when it goes down, do you have to sit down or lie down? Is it like that, or is it just an ache? Is it one of those things where it just clicks in your stuff?
It's quite crippling, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, it's one of them where you've got to stop and just sort of, you know, I couldn't even go on training. I mean, look, if I had it's not really my choice, but look, I would have done anything to fight on this. I mean, it took me to sit down and give myself a few minutes to sort of decide what I wanted to do. But I mean, the sense was that if we're not going to be in there 100%, or the chance of it going in the fight, thinking I'm 100% and it going again, it's not worth the risk. You know what I mean? I know what I'm capable of. I know, hand on heart, I've got what it takes to be Matthew Macklin. I know that. I know, and I wouldn't want to go in there not 100% and lose, and then have these regrets and say, yeah, but I don't want these excuses, and, you know, it was too bad of an injury to go in there.
To do that. Now, so Darren, you relinquished the title, gave it back. Then, how does that sit? Do you get the first shot at the winner of Saturday's fight? Is that the way it works?
Exactly. Whoever wins, which I'm praying is Matthew Macklin.
Yeah.
Their next fight has to be against me. You know, sure. I'm the mandatory challenger. I'm number one contender, which means hopefully this fight can happen one day. And, you know, I think you did it with Rob Palmer there, who sent the email in. Hopefully it can happen at the end of the year. I mean, I pray that I'm fit and ready to go. And this isn't a fight I'm shying away from. This is a fight I'm crying out for. I've been crying out for it for about well, however long it is, a year and a
long
half.
time.
You know, it's one I really fancy. One I know I know I'm better than Matthew Macklin. No disrespect to the guy, but I know I will beat him. I know for a fact I've got what it takes to beat the guy.
Oh, listen, we wish you the best. How long are you out for before you can get back in the gym, Darren?
Oh, I mean, I'm having physio at the minute, having hydrotherapy on my hip at the minute, and you know, I've just got to make sure, you know, I'm not going to rush into anything, and I'm just going to make sure I'll get back with, you know, and I'm 100%, get back in there, and you know, get back in the gym, and I'll just pray it's against Matthew Macklin, because this is a fight I want. This is a fight that will put me up there in the ratings and put me in there in, you know, in the British public eye, and you know, and people one day will say, yeah, you know what, Darren Barker was a fantastic fighter.
Well, let's hope you get your hit back, because I know Macklin wants it as bad as you want it. Just before I let you go, your pal Joe scored for Liverpool tonight already.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
He's floating. Is his accent changed since he went up there, Darren?
Nah, he told me he's taking up golf. I think he's...
he's taking up golf?
Yeah, he's taking up golf.
So they're bandits. All those Liverpool and Manchester United players, they're all bandits. Ricky Hatton tried playing golf with them. They're absolute bandits.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's no chance of me playing golf with him in it.
No,
but,
not at the moment.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to train like a lunatic, and I'll tell you what, I just pray this fight happens one day, and I'll prove to all these doubters that I am without a doubt the #1 middleweight in the country, which I believe I am.
Darren, listen, thanks very much for joining us tonight.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks,
no, my pleasure. Darren Barker there, and you can tell he desperately wants to get back in there.